So far I've done a couple videos on the Glock 42. My very first video I ever did was an actual kind of spoof of it because everybody was making such a big deal about how cool it was going to be. And it was basically before it came out, and I wanted to just kind of razz them. And then the second video I did was talking about shooting the Glock 42, but I wasn't actually able to do a video on it just because it was a gun that was somebody else's, and I didn't really feel like kind of making that situation uncomfortable by asking if I could film it and whatnot. So I have some news. I actually got a hold of a Glock 42, and today I'm going to literally kind of prove how cool this gun is, or maybe cause it to fail, because I'm going to fill this sucker full of cookie butter.
Trevor.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Matt V2099, you're going to have
Trevor.
to eat your heart. What?
It's on loan.
It's on loan?
Yeah, man. You can't fill the gun with cookie butter.
Man, I'm never going to get a viral video. The Glock 42 has been in production for quite some time, but still being a newcomer to the US market of Glock handguns, it is a very welcome addition to the Glock armory. Being chambered in .380 ACP, it makes it a versatile yet small and compact firearm, but also an adversary in the self-defense round. One of the things that stands out on the Glock 42 that I really like is the bracket-style rear sight and white dot front sight. Shooting the Glock is a breeze. Being chambered in .380 ACP, it's still yet a snappy round, but for the size and weight and balance of the Glock 42, it is a very smooth cycling firearm. One of the things about Glocks that is very common is limp wristing. If you limp wrist the Glock, you'll have failures to fire or failures to feed. Your grip on your firearm, especially a Glock, is key. And so one of the things about the Glock 42 that I did notice while shooting it is that you can limp wrist this gun and cause a failure, like a failure to fire. So I'm gonna try to just limp wrist this sucker and see if I can prove it. So there's a stovepipe, pull the magazine, let the round drop, pull the slide back, chamber's clear, let it run forward. Double check your magazine and run through it again. It doesn't happen all the time, so that's kind of a nice thing about the gun, but grip is key to using the firearm. One of the biggest questions about pocket pistols or small caliber pistols, especially about self-defense, is how accurate are they? So I'm not gonna try to shoot 60 yards with it, because I believe a lot of accuracy is basically 80% into the shooter, not just the firearm. A firearm can be fairly inaccurate by standards, but a shooter can actually learn how to use those inaccuracies or the common placement of the firearm to their benefit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shoot a 6-inch piece of steel at 30 feet. 30 feet is my safety zone when it comes to my rule of concealed carry and how I would use a firearm in an issue where I am threatened or in fear of my life. And basically I have a 30-foot bubble. If something comes, a threat, the minute it hits that 30-foot bubble, I'm willing to use force with a firearm. The question is when I practice with my firearm, I always practice that 30-foot range, because I know that if I can hit a 6-inch target at 30 feet, I will always hit it as the closer it gets to me within reason. And so that's what I'm gonna do with the Glock 42. I'm gonna fire one magazine through it at this 6-inch piece of steel in front of me and see how many dings we can get. So 5 out of 6, that's pretty good. Out of the times I've been shooting this piece of steel, I've been consistently hitting about 5 out of 6 shots, or all 6 shots. So I feel fairly comfortable with this firearm, especially for the short period of time that I've been shooting it. One thing that was interesting about the Glock 42 is that it only came with one magazine. Unlike the Gen 3s and Gen 4s coming with either 2 or 3 magazines, you kind of get gypped a little bit on the Glock 42. Glock did come out immediately with a 6-round magazine with a finger extension. A little under $40, kind of expensive, but I'm certain you could probably get it cheaper elsewhere. I really do like this finger extension on the Glock magazine. It really does help you keep control over the firearm while doing follow-up shots or consecutive shooting. So it's very key. The one thing about it that is nice is that it's not giant. It's not like the 7-round extension mag for an XDS, where if you were to carry it, that adds like a whole nother 2 inches to the firearm, and on small framed people that can kind of hinder where you're going to have it placed on your body while concealed carrying. So where this finger extension on the Glock, it doesn't take up a lot of real estate or add a whole bunch to the firearm as well, allowing you to get that pinky up onto the actual body of the firearm. Overall, shooting the Glock 42, I really enjoyed it despite the weather being as crappy that it was. This gun is very accurate. It's easy to shoot out of the box, especially for somebody that's not a great shot, and that would be me. But I did enjoy shooting it, and I was able to keep on target. The experience of actually manipulating the firearm is very easy and intuitive, just like all Glocks, just smaller. That's it for shooting the Glock 42 here on High Desert Tactical. If you guys liked the video, click that like button and show a little support. I really appreciate it. If you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe to it if you haven't already. And leave some comments down below if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. So you guys take care, be safe, and I will catch you later.